Have you ever pondered on the question, what were the forces that shaped the evolution and expansion of the slave trade? Today we unravel this complex tapestry of history and navigate through the labyrinth of time to understand the origins and progression of the slave trade. In the annals of human history, slavery existed as an unfortunate reality in many ancient societies and early civilizations. From the ancient Egyptians to the Romans, slavery was often a result of warfare, with captives becoming the enslaved. However, this form of slavery was significantly different from what we would later witness in the Atlantic world. As the centuries rolled on, the 15th century marked a turning point with the advent of European exploration. The Portuguese, followed by the Spanish, began to explore Africa's coast, seeking gold, spices, and most tragically, human beings. This marked the beginning of the Atlantic slave trade, a grim chapter in our shared history. The Atlantic slave trade soon evolved into a complex network known as the triangular trade, linking Europe, Africa, and the Americas. European ships laden with goods would sail to Africa, trading their cargo for enslaved Africans. These human beings were then forced to endure the horrific Middle Passage across the Atlantic, packed into ships with inhumane conditions. The survivors, upon reaching the Americas, were sold as slaves, and the ships would return to Europe laden with American goods such as sugar, tobacco, and cotton. The expansion of the slave trade was driven by a multitude of economic, social, and political factors. The burgeoning economies of the European colonial powers, the demand for labor in the New World, and the political ambitions of European monarchies all played a role in perpetuating this inhumane trade. The impact of the slave trade was profound and far-reaching. Africa bore the brunt of this trade, with millions of its people forcibly removed from their homes. The Americas, on the other hand, were irrevocably shaped by the influx of African slaves, whose labor contributed to the wealth of the colonies. Europe, too, was transformed, with its economies benefiting greatly from the trade. To conclude, the evolution and expansion of the slave trade was a complex process influenced by a multitude of factors. It began in ancient societies, took a dark turn with European exploration, expanded with the triangular trade, and was driven by economic, social, and political forces. Its impact was felt across continents, shaping the world as we know it today. So, next time you ponder over the complexities of history, remember the evolution of the slave trade, a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for both cruelty and resilience.